So we got all right. So we got to talking today a little bit through text about I wanted to talk about tonight.
Yeah.
The trades, Brandon Beane's trades since he's been here. Not a lot of them. Not a lot.
Player trades, right? No,
Player trade, not
trade.
trading a player away for picks. I'm talking about trading getting a player back in return that you think is going to help your team. Just not a lot. Not a lot. It's almost like he's a little nervous and squeezing the triggers. And we talked about this. Almost like it goes back to the Benjamin situation. It's almost like he pulled he pulled the trigger there. And I almost feel like he's just a little nervous to pull the trigger. Now, he pulled the trigger on the Diggs trade, but that was a no-brainer. Kind of, right? Like, and I don't know. We talked about this. He won the trade, but did he win it? I think it was an even trade for both teams. They got their guy. We got our guy. So I'm going to say that's not a win, but it worked out great for both teams. And then you got the Hines trade we said was a win. We think it's a win. I think it is. He gave up Moss, who was not working out anyways. We'd wind up cutting him. But other than that, guys, and the reason why I'm bringing this up, Mikey, is because I see in Twitter, come on, Bills, make a trade, or analysts going, the Bills could trade for Derrick Henry, or this would be a perfect trade for the Bills, and it never happens. Never. It's like, Brandon Beane now comes out later. He always comes out at the end of the season. Well, we were in talks, but it was only talking for, it's never was something serious.
We're always in talks. Right. We were in talks for Jalen Ramsey. We were in talks for Christian McCaffrey.
Right.
We were in talks for,
but it never went far. It was always just,
we never pulled the trigger.
What do you think, though? Why? What is it? Even in-season trades, he just hates it.
Honestly, I don't think he likes to give up the assets.
Yeah,
for the person.
I got to say, that's a little McDermott. That little where he's stubborn.
I don't think that has anything to do. Yeah,
no. I'm saying sometimes you gotta. He loves picks. We all know that he loves his draft picks. But sometimes
those two guys grew up together.
If you give up, no, I get it. Yeah, that's why I think sometimes they're on the same
wavelength.
Wavelength. Yeah, man. It's just Beane is stubborn too, man. Beane has his ways about him. That he likes certain things certain ways, but sometimes that backfires. And it has. Think about it, Mikey. What has Beane been stubborn about that didn't work out, right? Bringing back Trent Murphy, right? Keeping around the one guy that you hated on the defensive line. I don't even remember his name because I hated him so much. Yeah, Butler. You know what I mean? Certain guys we had the opportunity to get rid of, and he's
that came over from freaking Carolina. It's Carolina's connections,
right? And I just feel like sometimes he's a little stubborn on certain guys. And that has the McDermott in him. They're on the same wavelength. They're on the same. No. Sometimes, man, it backfires, man. I hate it, man.
LJ, what are you talking about? You want to trade a first or a second for Eckler and then have to pay him on top of that?
Yeah, no, that's
You're
crazy. Not happening. And I wouldn't want. Listen, I like Eckler, I do. But listen, if they're going to trade for a running back, there's only one guy I would be cool with, and that's Derrick Henry. And it depends. I would be cool with the second round. I
wouldn't even want to trade for him. Because here's the thing: we just signed an interior offensive lineman.
Yeah,
who's a pass blocking interior offensive lineman.
I get it. But Henry, Derrick, the difference is Derrick Henry doesn't need a great offensive line to tear through a hole.
He's a bowling ball.
You know what I mean? Not only a bowling ball, he's a huge bowling ball. Yeah. You know what I mean? He is a massive dude. Yeah, he's everything that the Bills fans, I think, have been screaming, we want this, and it's listen,
you want that big bruiser,
right? Who could do it a lot, right? He's not the best pass catching back, but he can still pass catch. I've seen him do it. But that's what you got. That's what you got Cook for,
or right? Hines,
or Hines. So why not? Listen, if he's available and you think you could squeeze it in and make it happen, and it's not unreasonable asking for Derrick Henry. Hell yeah, you pull the trigger. For that kind of player, they don't come around a lot, Mikey. That's why I'm saying they don't. Just like the Von Miller. Von Millers don't come around a lot. So that's why they pulled the trigger on Von and said, you know what, we're going to pony up and just pay him what he wants. I think Derrick Henry, he could provide, we talked about this, 2 or 3 years of solid football. And if we can't win a Super Bowl in 2 to 3 years with Josh Allen, Derrick Henry, Stephon Diggs, Von Miller, then you know what? It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
So I want to touch on this real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thomas comes in and says, "Come on, boys, need a line." Here's the deal. After today, Thomas, we have 4 starting linemen that they're gonna roll with next year. It's gonna be Dawkins, Dawkins and Bates probably on the left, Morris and McGovern, and then we have Spencer Brown penciled in. But then we have Bacher as a backup, guard. We still have a few backup spots. We'll probably bring in another tackle. I'm guessing he'll probably be in the draft. We also have Doyle coming back. So when you say we need a line, there's not going to be a ton more assets put into our line after this signing today. I would like to see it. I would love to see it.
And they're getting paid big money, by the way.
But McGovern is 25.
Right.
He's a young guy.
He's durable. Mm-hmm. He gets switched most positions.
He fits their athletic, lineman type, and this is what they run with. At the end of the day, I mean, I would love to see us get some big bruisers to run the ball a little bit more to take some pressure off of Josh.
Yeah,
we're a passing team.
No, I get it.
The signing today tells me that it's not going to change.
Maybe we'll see. I still think there's an opportunity to, even if it's not Derrick Henry, Foreman would be a good one.
I love Foreman.
I'd like
Foreman more because of the assets. Yeah.
We'll get into it. We're about to get into it, but there is guys out there that even if you don't get a Henry, you still can get that power back. But I agree with you. We're still a pass team, but I don't know if that, listen, if we build our offensive line a little bit better than it's been, get a running back in here that could actually run between the tackles, then maybe we're not 70-30 pass heavy. We're 60-40. You know what I mean? We're somewhat, balanced, but we'll see. We'll see who we bring in, man. Because I can tell you right now, if we don't bring in a bigger back and it's James Cook and a rookie guy they pull in here or smaller back, it's going to be 70-30 again. It's just the way it is, man.
Yeah. And we'll get into the offensive side for free agency of who's still out there, who we'd like to see come in as we're opening up some cap. With those 2 moves, we just cleared a bunch of cap room. So Beane will start to do his stuff. So we'll get into that. But I know you wanted to talk a little bit more about this trade. So we've had Benjamin, who has been, that was just a bust. Didn't work out.
Didn't work out. Terrible.
And then who else did we bring in after that? Diggs, right? We traded for Diggs.
Yeah. We tried it. I'm a back up. We tried to trade for Antonio Brown. It was pretty much done, but he stopped.
And Brown said no.
That would have been a terrible, by the way. Would have been a bad trade. But anyways, that did not work out. So good. So go ahead. Diggs, right?
So then we had Diggs. We brought in Marlowe last year. We brought in a Hines last year. We haven't traded for actual players very much.
Right.
Yeah, we're in the discussion for a ton of them.
Lot.
We don't pull the trigger. Like even we were talking about Von Miller in 2021 when he won the Super Bowl with the Rams. We were in that discussion to get him, and we didn't pull the trigger.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, there's guys though. It's frustrating though. I go say because there's guys that when the Chiefs traded mid-season, like during the trade deadline.
Oh, there are. LJ is talking about this. Delvin Cook to the Bills for a third and a second next year. There is discussion about Delvin Cook coming to an AFC team.
I heard that talk. I did too, but we'll see. Once again, this is why we're talking about bringing. Because it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen, Mikey. It's so when I see a trade that the Bills made and they're bringing a player, I'm shocked now. It's like we just don't make those kind of moves. We just don't, and we should more. And you know what? Too in season trades, man, getting a guy in here, for a third, fourth round pick that could be a difference maker. It's so frustrating when other teams do it and we don't. It seems like we just. I don't know, man. Beane's very picky, stubborn about what he wants to give up, draft pick wise, right? Because it's like, damn, what is a fourth round pick, bro? Like, it's not like you've been nailing some of these picks, bro. It's okay, It's all right.
Get a proven player.
Right. Get a guy could come in here. I mean, you did it once with Diggs. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it worked out for Minnesota too, but at least it worked, Listen, and not every trade's going to work out. Sometimes it is what it is, just like drafting a player. But damn, dude, sometimes you gotta roll the dice, especially when you know what value he brings to the team. It just seems like we just I don't know, being stuck in his ways.
So Thomas comes in and asks, "Do you guys like Dalvin Cook?" To me, he's okay, not more than that.
I think he didn't play that great last year. I will say that. But Minnesota's turning into a pass heavy kind of team last year, so they kind of reduced him a little bit. I still would be cool with him coming. I would be, but I still want that.
I would get over it. I don't want it. 100%. I don't want it. Depends on what he costs from an asset standpoint. If it's not a lot, if it's like third or below, I'd get over it and bring him over.
Yeah, I would definitely get over it.
Him.
Yeah,
But
I wouldn't be screaming. I wouldn't be running around. Wah!
Right?
You know what I mean? Like, I think honestly, I would be more like on the Derrick Henry thing because I think he's just. I mean, I'm not saying Dalvin Cook is bad. I'm just saying like that's the kind of player we need on this team. You know what I mean? I like Dalvin Cook, but I don't know. I still
Dalvin Cook's an all-around back. So
he is an all-around back, but he's also not as physical as a runner. Where our offensive line is still not really set, and I don't know if it's capable yet of being that run blocking team that Dalvin Cook still needs blockers. And I don't know, man. I listen, if you're going to do a trade, like we talked earlier, man, there's only a few guys that I would, want that's out there, man. And I would say the Henry, the Simmons, if they were willing to give Simmons up like a package deal. Oh my God. They're not. It ain't happening. I know it's dreamland for me. It's dreamland for me, but
so let me ask Daniel a question. Daniel comes and said they traded a 7th for Dean Marlowe last year. Do you think that was a good trade?
You talking to me?
See no.
I'm going to say no, because they didn't use him, but one game. It didn't even work out. We got our ass kicked.
Yeah, it was more for Daniel. I want to know if he thought that was a good trade. Like when they traded for him, I was super stoked because I expected us to 100%. Use him more, and we needed safety help. And then it just never materialized. They just never used him. Kind of like Hines. The reason why I gave Hines a win is because of his special teams production. Right. He still produced. We gave up Moss in a 5th for a guy who was really good on special teams.
Not only was he good at special teams, it was something that we were missing. Like we lacked a guy that was reliable in the kick return, punt return game. You know what I mean, Mikey? Like that was a need. Like I was cool with it because I'm like, hey, all right, you're not going to use him. At least he's doing this very well. So, that was 100% a win because it was something that we were doing terrible at. Like, we didn't know who was going to be our kicker return.
I mean, we tried Jaquan Johnson at safety. We tried Cam Lewis at safety.
Khalil, Shakir.
Yeah. I mean, at safety, too. We never gave Marlowe a shot.
Never.
We never gave him a shot until Hamlin went down. And then they're like, okay, here he goes for the playoffs.
Right.
It was bad.
It was bad.
Chuckles is right though. I believe Marlowe was a safe trade. I don't think it's a win or a loss. It is what it is. It was a safe trade.
It wasn't a seventh round. Yeah, who cares about the 7th round?
It's a flyer. It was a very safe trade. So Daniel answered, he thought it was good value given the safety depth. We should have used him more. I agree. I think it was a very good value trade for us. We just didn't use him right.
Correct. That's it.
I hate that. So there is a question in here, Tommy. I wanted to get your take on. Where is it? Right here. Dallas comes in and asks, I heard the Broncos receivers are available. Thoughts on them, if it's true. So you're talking about Cortland Sutton. You're talking about Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler. Any of those guys, give you a tingle?
No. Sutton's not bad. I don't mind Sutton, but I'm not trying to trade for a receiver, man. I'll be honest with you. Depending on what they want, but it's not where the Bills need to be concentrating right now if they're going to make a trade. If you're going to make a trade, make it count, man. You know what I mean? That's why I keep telling you. Like, none of those guys.
What do you want then?
Like, honestly, Gabe Davis, Sutton, I'd rather have Davis fine. Receiver-wise,
No, I'm saying you want him to make a trade. What do you want to make a trade for?
I told you. So if we're going to make a trade, I'm good with a running back, which would be Henry's the only guy. Right now, another trade I wouldn't mind a defensive line. Okay, if you're gonna get rid of Oliver, bring in a lineman. Okay, a tackle or whatever. You know what I mean? A defensive lineman or a safety if you're not going to sign Poyer. Those three or a linebacker. I'm good with the linebacker too. It just depends, but I'm not. Listen, right now, man, if you're going to make a trade, make it count is all I'm saying. Like, I don't want a small trade. I don't need that right now. Like, I don't think the Bills need that. I think the Bills, if you're going to pull off a big trade, man, make it count is what I'm saying. I don't want to send
Hopkins. Is that a big enough trade for you?
Yes. I would be totally good with Hopkins.
From a wide receiver. So you want 100%. That marquee guy. If we're gonna make a trade, we want to make that splash.
If you're gonna make a trade, make it exactly. Make it count, man. Okay. Make it a big. Make it a guy that could come and they go and we go. Yes, that guy's gonna make a difference. You know what I mean? Not a guy who's like, well, he could fit the role and
he has potential. We've always saw the potential.
Maybe we can squeeze him in here, right? It's like, no, man. I want a guy where we trade and we all go back. Bills Mafia on Twitter's going, right? Like, oh my God, right? Like, we just got this. You know what I mean? This guy's an instant playmaker. Like Von Miller. When we signed Von Miller, that was the whole craziness because we weren't supposed. Beane said we weren't going to get any big names, and that was that's what put us over, right? Like that's where it was like, oh my God, like he's a difference maker. So you're going to do a trade, make it happen, make it count. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. Beane doesn't do that often, but he did it with Diggs. So I will say he did it once.
But the thing with Diggs, it again. He traded for Diggs when Diggs was headed into his prime. No, Hopkins deal. Hopkins is coming out of his prime,
but he's
on the tail end of his prime.
He's but we can say that with Henry too, right? And like Henry's decreased a little bit, but they're both studs still. Like, honestly, look at our roster. Take Derrick Henry, put him in running back. Instant, way better than any running back we've had since Shady. Put DeAndre Hopkins next to Diggs. Way better than any second, next to Diggs that we had in a long time. I like Gabe Davis. I love Cole Beasley. I like John Brown. But come on, you're going to compare Hopkins to those three guys? No way. No. Hopkins come in instantly. At least
he's a monster.
He's a monster. Not only that, he's a receiver that we haven't had also in a long time. A bigger, physical receiver, especially in
a guy who goes up and will make
goes up. I think we all know about that. Yeah, the contested
Hail Murray
thing. Yeah, so that guy would be, I'm good with that.
LJ comes in and talks about Robert Woods. Would have been great.
He's gone. Yep.
He went to Houston on a 2-year, $15 million deal. I couldn't believe what they got him for. Got him for a song.
Yep.
Just,
is what it is.
Yes, Beth. That's right.
Hey, Beth.
Beane likes his draft picks. He won't part with them.
I
just won't do it.
It's frustrating. I don't mind draft picks when you're rebuilding. I'll be honest with you. If you're rebuilding and you're just, you know what, you're like, F it. We're going to, like kind of like the Titans maybe are doing right now. They're trying to get rid of, and they're just saying, hey, we're going to start all over. We're going to roll this thing back. I don't mind that. If that's what you're doing, you're going to, and then you get your money back, right? You start and then you go big on spending spree. But it's like, dude, right now, bro, we're like, honestly, we are a few players away from where we need to be to get to the Super Bowl. It's like, dude, you're not going to get, we're not, you don't have draft picks where we're in the top 10 where you can get like a stud. You'd have to get lucky with a player in the late rounds, right? Late picks in these. So it's like, bro, go make it happen, man. With a trade, you know what I mean? Give up that third. It's not that big of a deal right now, man. We are trying to win, right? Like you said, I think 3 shows ago, Josh Allen's not getting any younger. You don't want to waste.
I don't want to waste his peak.
That's what I'm saying. You don't want, right? And then we're back to square one where we're trying to get a quarterback in. Then it's all over. Then it's like rebuilding time. Then we're going to start all over again, guys. And
no, I don't think Josh is close to being.
No, I don't either. By any means, as the years go on,
but we're going into year 6.
Right.
This is he's going into his prime years as an athlete.
Right.
Let's get him over.
And trust me when I tell you, frustrations, as you can see from Diggs, they eventually pile up. And I know Josh Allen's here. We gave him his contract, but losing usually year after year, or not making a Super Bowl, not winning one, eventually players want out. They want to move on. They want to get an opportunity to finally win one before they retire.
The trust the process only goes so far before it stops being, just
and players want out. We don't want to get there. Like, you know what I mean? So
yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
So frustrating.